Wow. Yeah. Blaney. Old Blaney couldn't get her done. Yeah. I don't think there's any question the best car. I think, I mean, obviously this race was won by the strategy of Kyle Larson, right? That's how this race was won. Kyle Larson now out there racing as hard as he can, kind of protecting the field, mainly protecting Byron, for sure. But if Kyle Larson isn't up there racing, he doesn't. I think Blaney wins, right? So and then maybe this is because the way he raced him last week. I thought, there were a lot of people pissed off at Blaney the way that he went through the field last week, and okay. But man, you definitely I mean, Kyle Larson, without question, decided who the champion was going to be. Now, he thought maybe Byron would get there on a restart, so it wasn't like he was picking Logano, but he certainly was making it a choice. Certainly making it a choice to not let the 12 by, and that was ultimately the race. And that's NASCAR. And the fact that the caution came out with Byron giving him the lead, and then gosh, it was almost the perfect scenario for Blaney to not win. If Byron, or if Blaney if he beats Bell off pit road, he doesn't start row 3, he starts row 2, and he starts on the inside, which is where I think Joey came from. And that's what mattered. So there was like so many little things that needed to go in the way of other drivers in order for Blaney to not win. But that's racing, man. That's NASCAR. I don't think that there's anyone that would think that he wasn't the best car today. I don't think anyone thinks that, at least no one with a brain. So yeah, just that's racing. I mean, Reddick, let's just run through these drivers. Just a no-show. Pretty much a no-show. You got to be disappointed there. I mean, they had 2 weeks and just nothing. You're Tyler Reddick, that's a bummer, because you weren't even in the mix. I mean, he was barely getting in the top 10. So can't feel good about that. Can't feel good about that. Yeah, so when it comes to this format and everyone, kind of imploding on Twitter, I hear you, but listen, we have to bet based on the championship. I don't care what the model is. The goal is to make money betting on it. If I'm paid to give an opinion about what the championship format should be, well, then I'll offer. But until then, the goal is to just make money, and it's hard. That's why we didn't have any championship futures bet. I didn't even know who to hedge with. I didn't hedge. I was just naked on Blaney. I didn't know who to hedge with because this format is so difficult to handicap. All you can do is get your money in on the best car and hope that the strategy plays out. I mean, the pit strategy needed to be a 1 lap sequence, 1 or 2 laps. Without that, if it doesn't fall in that 1 or 2 lap area, and Bell, doesn't beat Blaney off pit road, or just gets a decent restart, Blaney wins the race. He wins that race, probably 30% of the time, which is probably what his odds should have been, was about 3-1. So yeah, it's a complete bummer for everyone that has Blaney, but don't get caught up in, we knew the format when we made these bets. So I agree. 3,001 tickets get to the window. I don't know. I didn't see any of those tickets. Byron stays out and gets the caution. Yeah, if Byron stays out and gets the caution, it's the same thing. He just doesn't have a lap on his tires. If Bell clears at 24 on the final restart, Blaney probably wins there too. Yeah, there's probably a lot of ways that Blaney wins that race. Um, Logano getting the lead was a dagger. Yeah, he's just a hard guy to pass. I mean, you got to give him credit. For some reason, it was just worth too much for me to get a Blaney back-to-back win. Those things just don't happen. um, and you need the best car to win back-to-back weeks. When was the last time back-to-back cars won, or the back-to-back best cars won? That happen all year? I mean, I can name 10 times where the best car didn't win. So, um, 9 scenarios where Blaney wins. Yeah, probably Logano got the perfect scenario. Yeah, you're probably right. Zane. Yeah, then there's the whole Zane's a Chevy. The 3 Chevys stayed out. Logano officially has the worst average finish of a NASCAR Cup Series champion ever. Is that his season total? Is his average is 17.1? Yeah, Phoenix does suck. Derek, is that for the season? Man, that that is for the season. I'm seeing yes. Wow. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah. I mean, is Twitter imploding right now? I'm not watching. I'm watching Logano somehow hoist this trophy. Yeah. I wonder what Blaney's average finish was last year. Someone can look that up. The Hendrick Mafia, yeah. Name a race where Joey is the fastest car. You can't. Any super speedway race. Yeah. Kevin, that's a good point. Yep. 146. Nigel, drink a beer, Nigel. You're in the penalty box for Chris Bell. Penalty box. You have a full beer and then you can chime back in. Okay. Yeah, last year Blaney was 14.1. Yeah. Yeah. Penalty box for Nigel. Finish your beer and then you can I bet a Joey future after Bowman DQ. Yeah. That was a good bet. Joey gets rewarded for being a company guy. Yeah, exactly. I don't get a new couch. I have to actually put mine on sale. Yeah, there was a great tweet that said, "That's it. I'm done watching NASCAR, or I'm never watching NASCAR again until next season." I hope that it's a little better this year. That's for sure. Hmm. Mojo's on here. Make racing matter again. Yeah, Bubba finishing 7th. Yeah, he also disappears. Busher had a good run. Denny a bad run. I don't know what happened there. Chase Elliott was better than I thought he was going to be. That's for sure. Yeah, I Big Ross. I think you're right. I'm Blaney Larson. That race came down to Larson, without question. I mean, he was out. It's 3.2 seconds or something like that. Or I didn't think that there's a chance in hell of the 12 getting there. But remember, he probably had to use up a lot of stuff to get there. It wasn't like he was on a track where there's no tire fall off. I mean, Blaney was chunking him. Yeah. Drake is happy. So you must have had this 3,000 to 1 at Circa. Was that a mistake? Did they like fat finger a line? Was he supposed to be like plus 300 or something? Um, Let me see if I have this thing DM'd me yet. Um, yeah, Larson did the impossible. Uh, yeah, I think Larson was pretty upset after Blaney the following week, so that was his chance to kind of stick it to him. Yeah, I got some messages about betting the 17 live. I mean, I couldn't see betting anyone live but a championship guy or Bell. Yeah. But it was crazy how quick I it took him 10 laps to pass Larson and 2 laps to pass Byron. So you can tell I think we can all agree that Larson's the hardest guy to pass if he doesn't want to get passed. Yeah. Yep. Joey Logano, 3-time champion. It's crazy. I mean, he did it with average stuff. Average stuff all year. Yeah, it kind of was like, dude, he ran me. I actually, I mean, I tweeted, gosh, I hate how right I am. Where my tweet of, uh, let's see. Oh, NASCAR Twitter implodes in 3, 2, 1. I think we can pretty much see that. Yeah. I don't think Blaney got there. I think his stuff was just worn out, and I think that uh DM sent of this. Wow. 3,000 to 1. Oh man, that is nuts. Did they Yeah, his tires were gone, I think. Phoenix is bad, man. It's bad. Ugh. There are a lot of people there though. Yeah, they kept saying Logano found something. I don't know that he did, you know. Circle will pay that out. Circa those guys at Superbook and Circa, they're pretty good about that stuff. Those would be the two places I would want to have a ticket. You might get booted for it, but Blaney and his spotter debated the top or bottom before the final restart. They chose the top because they were worried about Joey being on top, and instead Blaney got stuck in Joey's. Yeah, because he was ahead of him. I don't know. It seemed like the outside was the preferred line in the Xfinity series, and the bottom was the best for Phoenix. Let's see. He was behind 9 and 5 on top. Yeah. Can Logano's power pass? I hope not. Yeah. I think, Johnny, you're probably accurate. Credit to Logano. I mean, if there was a guy, if you're just going to say, hey, you're going to get the lead and you're going to have a faster car that's catching you, you got to hold them off for 10 laps. Who else are you picking? I mean, Logano, you have to just take Logano. Not to mention, I think he knew that Blaney was better. So Logano was just like, maybe he saved some stuff for when Blaney got there. I think you guys are dreaming if you think Logano's not going to pass inspection. The webbed hand of God to DQ Logano. Your hedge is already paid out, huh? Yeah. I didn't even know who to hedge with. I thought at times Blaney was good, at times Byron was good. I mean, Reddick was the only guy, but after practice and qualifying, I thought Byron was better than Logano. Mm-hmm. But we just don't see the best car winning that much anymore. I think that's the thing that gets me the most. Yeah, that's a good point, Travis. Just bet Logano when he's trash next year. Byron has no dog in him. Yeah, the opposite of Logano. The best car got 5th. The best car may have gotten 5th. I still think you could argue Blaney was the best car. Yeah. 2026 Logano future. Yeah, even years. Gosh, now we gotta listen to this. Man, if you're Gibbs or Hendrick, you gotta go, man. The last 3 years, whew, next gen made it impossible. Bell Blaney would have been fun for sure. Remember when Logano was eliminated from That's a great point. I do remember that time. There was a point when Logano wasn't even in the playoffs. Like, there was, like, a 2-hour stretch when Logano didn't even advance to the second or to the 3rd round of the playoffs. Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, Blaney somehow not winning this is crazy. He was the best car at we don't know how good he was at Vegas, but I think he was gonna be pretty good. He was the best car at arguably one of the best cars at Homestead, uh, the best car at Martinsville, and kind of the best car, or at least one of the top 2. They just had the most speed late, all because Bowman was on Ozempic. Yeah, this one's on Bowman. Bowman's crew chief, whoever that is. In that scenario, yeah, I think Bell on that late race restart, he didn't want to see that. I think he just kind of said, I'll back everything out of this. If you're Rick Hendrick or you're Joe Gibbs Racing, you got to figure out how the hell you win a championship. You got to figure out how to win a championship. You got to get faster late. And you can say what you want that Kyle should have, Larson 6 wins or whatever, but he wasn't the best car at Homestead, which to me says if he's not the best car at Homestead, that is not a driver problem. Kyle Larson not being the best at Homestead is not a driver problem. That is a Hendrick Motorsports problem. Yeah. Let's see. Rick Hendrick. Get the race out of Arizona. I think that's the biggest thing, you know. Post-race pressers. Have fun, Brian. Tank for the first 4 months. I don't know. Get better at Phoenix. Yeah, Penske has. I agree. The only way they beat Penske at Phoenix is to pay an engineer to change teams. Yeah, maybe. You got to think that they can figure it out. Yeah, right now I don't want to watch post-race coverage. I mean, there isn't any. I just like to wallow in my own self-pity. Logano. And in such a Logano, like there was nothing more Logano about this championship, this whole playoffs in the race. Like just there's only one driver that could do that. There's only one driver that could do that. They'd have to Clockwork Orange you. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's some I'm trying to see if there's by the way, how about Dale Jarrett before the race? Dale Jarrett talking about sports betting and betting on NASCAR. Yeah. How much is it a Penske thing or a Logano Blaney thing? Good at short flat tracks everywhere. I think that I would have to say Ross, who asked about whether it's a Penske thing or a Logano Blaney thing. It's got to be a Penske thing. I mean, they both won when they were in the championship, and then they run 1-2 when they're both in the championship. Is Joey the most clutch driver in modern NASCAR history? Yeah, I would say I'm going to say no, because he's just given the now he does a great job of holding people off, but you haven't seen him do what Reddick did and take it from somebody. Reddick took that race win from Blaney. Logano just hangs on for dear life. Now he's hard to get rid of, but he just hangs on. He hung on at Nashville. He hung on at Vegas. He hung on here. No, he did not take Las Vegas. He hung on for dear life. He took Martinsville away from Truex. I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember specifically. He took Kansas away from Kenseth. I remember that. Yeah, strategy, fuel. Larson turning into Jason Peters. Larson directly gave, like, there needs to be a Christmas card sent to Kyle Larson from Joey Logano, like a very nice one. Like maybe he should pay for. Well, Larson lives in Scottsdale, so he's not flying home, but maybe pay for jet fuel or something. If you can't make sense of any of Logano's wins this year, I can't make sense of any of Logano's wins this year, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'm the idiot, though. I mean, he stayed out and made it on fuel for two of them. Yeah, I said that Kyle Larson looked like Orlando Pace out there. Oh, he's going to pay your dirt expense. Yeah, go ahead and ask him. See if you're like, hey, since I had so much on, Blaney to win, see if he'll pay for your dirt expenses. Old school points battle was won by Bell over Elliott by 5 points. Had this been the old format. The old format is in like the Winston format, or the old format as in the 10 drivers and there's still a chase. The Winston. Bell wins the Winston series. Interesting. I wonder who would win the chase format. When the 10 drivers made it and then the best one won. It would have to be. Man, I don't know. I don't know who just had the best average finish. Maybe Chase Elliott. I didn't watch during the Winston thing. But one thing I don't want is like where Johnson had to just finish 23rd or better. How would I change the playoff structure? I try not to put too much time into this because my goal is to make money betting it either way. And I think, somewhere between, Johnson back in the day needed to finish 25th to win in the final race, and a driver with an average finish of 17th on the year winning the championship. I think there needs to be something in there for wins. I actually think that there should be something in there like average running position. I think average running, I don't know how there's a formula or whatever, but I think average running position is really important to how good you were on the season. That's just me. Let's see. Between all of NASCAR's problems at the top, yeah, the car sucks. The car sucks. Playoff structure that would draw in more money. Set it up to be head-to-head where wins during the season could count as, yeah. like I said, I don't have opinions on other scenarios. I'm just trying to make money on this one, which I didn't. I had last year Blaney, or this year Blaney was worth a lot. Last year, or Larson was worth a ton. The year before that, I don't know. I think I had some Logano. Before that, I had some Larson, but not that much. As a new fan, I like this over season long. Just getting points. I wanted to watch. Yeah, if you wanted to watch season long, you'd watch F1. Yeah, I do think. I thought that it was great racing today. Like I was entertained. Was anyone not entertained? I thought it was great racing all day long. So the car, I mean, I'd love to see them running something similar to the Xfinity cars. But then you could also find, I think you just find like Larson might win 10 races in Xfinity cars. Joke's on Rick Hendrick. If Larson doesn't block Blaney, you would have been able to buy a car from Hendrick. That's a good tweet. Yeah. Yeah. Once the 9 and the 5 were in front of the 12. I mean, that could not have worked out any better for, like I said, they had to thread the needle to beat Blaney today. The caution doesn't come out. I think Blaney wins. I think Blaney wins the championship. I think Bell probably still wins the race. Maybe we can all agree there. And then the restart needed to go perfectly for Logano because he needed all 3 seconds, and he needed Blaney to be in 4th. So he needed a lot to happen. And needed Larson to want to hold a grudge. Larson and Bell would have, they'd have a lot of wins. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Wins need to be rewarded more, but I there's going to be just a lot of bitching. No one's ever going to be happy. No one's going to be happy with their scenario. I'm sure people that have Logano at 3,000 to 1 are happy, and then people that have all this money on Blaney are unhappy because Blaney was the best car. Who cares? The sport doesn't care. They'd belt outrights in Blaney championships. Oh yeah. Yeah, someone's gonna bitch and groan. Blaney was your second preference. Yep. All right. Well, on to next season. I'll have a little guy with me. So, but everyone, let's just plan on going to Miami. I mean, gotta figure out a place to stay. I don't know. I don't want to stay in Miami. 2025 Dark Horse. Ooh, good question. Dark Horse. Briscoe? Yeah. Maybe Briscoe. Joey Logano. Ross says Joey Logano. That's funny. It ain't gonna be Harrison Burton. Joey Logano's the dark horse. That's a great tweet. I'm gonna steal that from you. I'll give you credit, Ross, but that's great. That's funny. Oh man. Well, DM me your Twitter handle if I want to give you. I'll give you credit for it, but I am stealing that shit for sure. And my dark horse for the 2020-25 season is Joey Logano. Yeah. Average finish is 17.1. Man. Yeah, Homestead will be fun. Briscoe will be all right, and then he races like a dick though. He's an annoying guy to pass. That's why that's Mark. That's why it's a dark horse. Steven says, "See you at Homestead." All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Go watch the Lions. Cheers. SVG, no. Yeah. All right. Peace.